open two things at once. You just keep trying to guess all you want.
Hey, I'm Adam.
I'm Bryan.
Back with another episode of Buds and Suds.
So time for another blind beer, except one for him this time. So we'll put him on the spot, see how he does. Not much more to say.
All right.
Except let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So pours pretty black. I mean, I can't see around the edges. It has a nice creamy tan head that holds it, pretty decently there. All right, kind of cool. Let's get the nose.
All right. We may need to just let this one warm up for a little bit. This is kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little cool, but I kind of get just kind of a creamy, chocolatey, some roast. I can't tell if there's coffee. I'm not getting a huge aroma, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not getting much aroma either, except for kind of a little roasted malt.
Yeah.
Just something that says, it's a stout, basically.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. All right.
Cheers.
It's not as cold as I thought it was.
Okay. It tastes like like a sweet, creamy stout, maybe a milk stout. Maybe an oatmeal stout, actually. Could be oatmeal.
Okay, so style, what would you, we can keep sipping on it, I guess.
It's sweet, so it's really sweet. It's not like a big bitter Russian Imperial Stout. It's got kind of a silky mouthfeel. It's a little cool, but it's got a silky mouthfeel. There's some definitely roasted malts under there. So it's kind of creamy, like milky. So I was thinking either a milk stout or an oatmeal stout.
Okay.
Like I said, it's a little cool. So if it's an oatmeal stout, it'd be a little thinner than I thought, but it's within what I expect. I don't get any adjuncts at this time. As I'm just sitting here, just kind of that typical roasty malt backbone on my tongue.
Barrel aged or not?
I'm not getting much barrel. Let me see.
You have to admit I'm not either.
It looks, I was trying to guess maybe it holds the glass pretty well. I was guessing a 10, 11, 12% beer.
Okay. Compared to what we just had, this is to me a whole lot more roasty.
Yeah. It's different temperature.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's not as hot. It's definitely not as hot. It's not. It doesn't have. Anyway, it's not what it's not. It's no. This is much easier drinking than that, and I don't know. It's solid. It's very drinkable for me. It's sweet, creamy. I really enjoy this.
So I would agree with that assessment that except I think I would say I get more roastiness up front, but then it definitely has some sweetness to it. I don't get lactose, but I do get something that's kind of, just a little on the sweeter side.
Yeah, I guess it could be like vanilla in a bourbon barrel.
Yeah, except I don't get really much vanilla either.
No, I don't get much oak character. It's kind of just, it's sweet and creamy.
And it's a little on the cool side, but it's not cold. I would
got a little more heat there, actually.
I'd have to measure it, but I would bet it's still in the 50-degree range.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little disappointed in it, but I kind of expected this after that Boumaye.
Boumaye!
That was just phenomenal.
Kill him. So I would give it, it's very drinkable. I'm like 4.25.
Yeah, I'm probably I'm at a 4.25 only because I know what it is and I know what has been added to this or what's different about this from the regular that makes it a little bit better.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it a 4.25. Do you have any guesses? I'd like to lead you, but let's see. So you mentioned stout. You didn't think it was Russian Imperial Stout because it didn't have as much roastiness to it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you it is a Russian Imperial Stout.
Okay.
But what's been added kind of detracts from that a little bit or makes it better, depending on, I mean, if you really love a good bitter Russian Imperial Stout, then it makes it worse. But to me, this makes it better.
It's a vanilla barrel aged Zukov, maybe? No, it's not a Zukov.
Not a Zukov. All right, let's just cut to the chase here so we can get back to our Boumaye.
Boumaye!
So.
Old Rasputin.
But wheat.
And the wheat. Okay.
So wheat tends to make it taste a little bit sweeter.
Okay.
It tends to soften the roastiness from a typical Russian Imperial Stout.
Yeah.
And so that's why I thought it'd be good to do blind, just to see if we got that.
12%. That's what I thought from the. Yeah. Well, no, I love Rasputin, and but it definitely doesn't have a bit like. It doesn't have that bitter kick that those non-barrel aged Russian Imperial Stouts. Those beers can get very bitter and just aggressive. This definitely mellows that out. It does. It makes it sweeter, creamier, And then the 12%, the 11.95%, which is very specific, by the way. I don't think that's a
percent sign.
No, we're good. But no, it didn't surprise me from how it was holding the glass, but it surprised me from the taste. It wasn't until the last sip. I just basically domed a lot of that already.
It's hard to tell. It's 12%, I think. But I do have to admit it. So when I first started getting into craft beers, I liked Old Rasputin just because it was different, it was complex. But the more I drink stouts, I'm just not a huge fan of the big Russian Imperial Stout with the big roastiness and bitterness. I prefer something that's a little more mellow, and I think the wheat mellows it out, which is what I was hoping. I've not actually had this before. You have, but I haven't, and we hadn't reviewed it, so I thought it'd be fun to review.
So the difference, we were talking about what we did before this, and it was that Boumaye, the 2013 from 8 Wire, which, by the way, I gave it a 4.5, and it's like by now a 4.75
the more we're
for
sipping
me.
on it,
So the difference, that's what I pulled from the side. It has this syrupy. It has it's syrupy. I mean, it has another level to it than this has. Yeah. It's definitely a step up. Not that this isn't good. This is really tasty, but this tastes so much more. We talk about comparison, what you've had before and after. This tastes so much more thin and creamy than I remember Old Rasputin being just in general, because of the thick Hershey syrup that's sitting on my tongue, from that. So, I bet if you gave me this bottle again blind to start a night off, I would describe it completely different, or not maybe completely different, but quite different. You never know, because this is a really good beer. 4.25 range for me.
Yeah, I'm settling on a 4.25. Old Rasputin has come down in points for me as my palates have progressed. But this one I like better than regular Old Rasputin. Yeah. So if you're a fan of Old Rasputin and you just love that Russian Imperial Stout, Riss has a certain flavor for some people, and in most cases, high IBU bitterness too. And if that's what you like, then this kind of would take away from that. But for those of you who don't like that high, strong roasted bitterness, which I do sometimes, but I prefer the barrel character, which kind of tends to mellow that, and I think the wheat mellows that some too, which makes me like it more.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a 4.25, and then if you guys watched our last review, I'm going to up my Boumaye review to 4.75.
Yeah, I think I have to too. Is it more fruity to you? Because the more I sip on it, the more fruity it is.
Yeah, and anyway, we shouldn't re-review that one during this review, but this is a very solid beer. It's very tasty. I definitely get that creaminess, a little bit of sweetness that wheat adds. That's really cool. It would be cool. I mean, it's hard to do these things, these big 12% beers, but it'd be fun to kind of do these with the different, wheat and rye and all that kind of,
Just aging aging it just in wheat whiskey barrels just makes such a huge difference in flavor. Yeah. It's just amazing to me how it changes it, just being a wheat as opposed to just regular Old Rasputin.
But this is a solid beer. This is one that if I'm in a place and they have a bottle of this, but they don't have much on tap, I wouldn't mind getting a bottle of this and just sipping on it, because it's very good. I mean, I've had several of them, and I really enjoy these. So.
And it sits on shelves. It's easily attainable. So.
Yeah, it's very, very well made. So we love that one. Anything else?
No.
As always, guys, if you have a beer you love the beer you have. Thanks.